okay because I am going to talk about them a little bit. So,
Okay.
but I think that's what the fans have come to expect is that kind of like how I started the show with the most well no shit Sherlock news of all time. I think that's one of our dynamics of the show is Matt tells you about the people you're not thinking of, and I'm talking about how even though we are thinking of the moves that I bring up, why maybe some people don't understand the extent of how good this is.
That's a good
So
way of putting it. Yeah.
that's a good way to put it. I think that's why our dynamic is so good. You and I, in a lot of ways, are polar opposites, but it works. Opposites attract. We are yin and yang.
I'm the mid-major guy. You're the big school guy, and that's how it is.
Exactly. So, anyways, just for time constraints, I think it's time for me to officially start my top five.
Go ahead, buddy.
And so, number five, and I'd like to think that I went quality over quantity with this one, and it's the Michigan Wolverines. They only got 8 commits from the portal, but it's the areas that they improved in that puts them on the spot. They landed 3 offensive linemen, Ladarius Henderson from Arizona State, Miles Hinton and Drake Nugent from Stanford. And those guys plugged into that line unit. Now I gotta say Michigan has the best offensive line in college football, at least on paper. So that's ultimately why I put Michigan at the spot. And of course, going from guys that protect the quarterback to guys that get after the quarterback, they added a couple pass rushers. And of course, that never hurts. So that's why I never at all. Yeah. So I think that's why I have Michigan at this number 5 spot. Now, number four is going to surprise a lot of people. I have the Louisville Cardinals at number 4. And, as much as I said that it wasn't going to happen, Jeff Brom has done work since he's been coming home.
Yes, he has.
At the time of this recording, they have 20 commits through the portal, which is tied with Indiana and SMU for third most. And what really stands out to me is that he targeted specific areas. He really went after defensive backs and wide receivers. On the defensive backside, Marcus Washington from Georgia, of course, is the top-ranked player that's committed. But as a Texas fan, as I'm wearing Duke gear, but y'all know I'm a fan of both. Everybody knows that. Everybody that watches the podcast knows that. Devin Neal comes in from Baylor. I can tell you firsthand that's a good move. And, of course, the guy with one of the coolest names in college football, Storm Duck from Penn State. Those moves stand out pretty good. And, of course, at the wide receiver position, 4 wide receiver commits through the portal. Jamari Thrash from Georgia State is the top ranked. But let me tell you, Kevin Coleman from Jackson State, that's going to be the one to watch out for. Because, Matt, I know, yeah, you and I know, watched a lot of Jackson State tapes, a lot of Jackson State clips and games. That's a good one.
It's a huge one.
And, of course, to top it off, they got their QB1 in Jack Plummer from California. Pretty solid.
Pretty good.
I think he does a lot better in a Jeff Brom system. But anyways, that wraps up my number 4. And going from 2 picks that might have surprised you a little bit to 3 picks that you're probably like, well, no shit. These are the guys. So my number 3 team is the LSU Tigers. And if you don't respect my ranking on there, they're also the 3rd ranked team according to 24/7 with an 80 grade for their portal class. They have 12 commits, 10 of which are on defense. And of course, one of my favorite players in the portal that Matt literally just talked about, Denver Harris. And of course, the Longhorn fan in me has to say good luck to Ovie Oghoufo, who also transferred in. Best of luck to you. Great player, great young man. I wish him nothing but the best. I'm not like most fans that just want to bash players for leaving.
Well, I don't get why people are like that. I mean, people have lives and reasons that you could never begin to understand. So just let it go. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm going to miss you so much, but you don't have to be a jerk about it.
Well, if I did everything that people wanted me to do, I don't know where I'd be, to be completely honest. I don't really know where I was going with that statement. I guess the point being is you can't do what everyone else wants you to do. That's just stupid.
Yeah, you got to be free to be yourself.
Yes. How dare you make a decision based on what a complete stranger doesn't want you to do? How could you? Why could you be so selfish?
Are you horrible like that?
No, anyways, yeah, I think people are just miserable and they need to leave these guys alone. But anyways, Now for number 2. And it's a team that has a fan base that has been jumping on our podcast bandwagon as of recently in the USC Trojans, which shout out to you guys. I appreciate the love that the fan base is giving our show. Absolutely. And I promise you, your all's love is not what is impacting this ranking at all. You all, they're making some serious noise.
It's nice,
course,
but
as
it's secondary.
As we've said on many shows before, year 1 of the Riley era, they sold the house on the offensive side of the ball. And now in year 2, they sold the house on defense, which after watching several key games down the stretch, that's what needed to happen. Of course, Bear Alexander, Christian Roland Wallace, Mason Cobb, Jack Sullivan all initially took that defense to a new level. And literally right before we jumped on the podcast, like Matt alluded to, they landed another defensive back from Bama and Traquan Fagans. So, I mean, they're selling the house on defense. I mean, and for good measure, they added Marshawn Lloyd from South Carolina and Dorian Singer on offense. And it's like, they didn't really need more weapons, but like, they got them anyway. Got them anyway. So, I mean, yeah, with that offense and then mixed with that defense, this puts USC in some serious title contention right now. And they're going to be fun to watch. You know what? It's a good thing Texas beat USC back in 05 because now I can actually root for them and be like, and I can't be I don't have to be one of those fans like, you know what? I can't root for them because they beat us back in 05. Nope, didn't happen. So I can cheer for USC and feel good about it. Also, shout out to Lindell White. That's one of my favorite documentary moments when he gets all mad and goes, 9 out of 10 times we beat those guys from Texas. Well, you didn't when it mattered, so who cares?
Lindell White and you shouldn't get along anyway because remember, he's a Titan and a USC Trojan.
I know. It's a double whammy. I should, like, hate this guy's existence. But I don't hate anyone's existence. We're all people.
That got turned really fast.
We are all created equal, and Jesus loves us all.
Even when we're trash talking.
That is the best form of trash talk. Jesus loves you. Don't forget it, guys.
The Lord be with you.
But anyways, on to the number 1 team that benefited from the transfer portal, the Duke Blue Devils. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
It's Colorado. It's Colorado. It's Colorado. I think pretty sure anyone could have guessed Bronny James was going to go to USC. And anyone could have guessed Colorado was going to be number 1 on this list. Even Bean, who's now looking up, he wants something to say. You better not trash Deion Sanders, or you might sleep outside tonight.
No, I was going to compliment his fashion sense.
He really likes the cowboy hat.
I love cowboy hats, Father. Why don't you let me wear cowboy hats?
You never asked. Like, all you had to do was ask. It's like asking goes a long way, Bean.
Communication is hard for me. I'm only like 3 feet tall.
He expects me to, like, just know. He's not even that tall. He's like a foot long, dude.
I'm a $5 foot long, damn you. A $5 foot long.
He's like, how dare you put a price on me, Matt? Now he's coming for you.
Oh my God.
But anyways, now that we have 10 minutes to go, I better hurry up and get this explanation over with.
We know who it is. We know who it is.
We know it's Colorado, but no, I have to go into why they're number 1. They're on pace for the biggest roster turnover in college football history. But, like, what amazes me is how many people are surprised by this. He literally, in his opening press conference, said, yeah, y'all go ahead and hit that portal. I got my bags coming and they all Louis. Like, did we think he was joking? Like, no, he was kind of serious. And what's also funny about this is maybe not to this degree, or maybe he wasn't as loud about it. But if y'all remember, Mel Tucker did the exact same thing at Michigan State.
Yep.
But no one hated on him for it because he wasn't as loud about it, maybe, or it's because it's Coach Prime and he has more attention, whatever. But at the time of this recording, 38 players have committed to Colorado. Of course, we've mentioned the 2 big ones, Travis Hunter, who I think is a pretty solid player, Shedeur Sanders, who I am going to be on record saying, mark my words, he is the 2nd best quarterback in the Pac-12, only behind the reigning Heisman winner, Caleb Williams, and I will stand by that. And, of course, the sleeper ones are Demoy Kennedy, I hope I didn't butcher his name, from Bama, and Miles Slusher from Arkansas. Coach Prime has revamped this roster and could have what was arguably the worst team in Power 5 last year to ready to make some noise in year one, which people don't understand. Even in the transfer portal era, that's insane. It is absolutely insane. And then low key though, just because of how much we talk about him, Matt, I think we might have to change our pod to the Colorado fan club.